Hello and welcome back to my channel where we break down complex topics, make them fun and easy to understand. Today we're diving into the fascinating topic of money laundering, but with a twist. We'll be examining the role of luxury watches like Rolex and how they can be a part of the process. I'll walk you through a couple of examples of how a money laundering scheme with luxury watches might play out. Remember, understanding this does not condone such activities. It only serves to educate and enlighten. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Noel Lorenzana, your friendly neighborhood accountant. Money laundering is the process of making illegally gained proceeds appear legal or legitimate. It's usually accomplished in three stages: placement, layering, and integration. Luxury watches can and are used in the money laundering process, especially during the placement and layering stages, from what I understand. Let's dive a little deeper. Placement. The first stage of money laundering is known as placement. Illicit funds need to be introduced into the legitimate financial system. But how? Well, an individual, let's call him Mr. X, decides to buy $1 million worth of luxury watches from a gray market watch dealer using illicit funds. And not just any watches, but high-end pieces like Rolex, Rolex Daytonas worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars each. These watches represent a significant amount of wealth in a small transportable form. By using the illicit funds to buy a Rolex watch collection, Mr. X has essentially completed the first stage of money laundering. Let's go to the next stage, layering. The second stage is a bit more complex. It's called layering. This stage involves obfuscating the source of the money through a series of complex transactions or layers. In our example, this is where Mr. X has to make sure the origins of the money become as hard to trace as possible. How can luxury watches help in this? Well, Mr. X could then resell these watches to other dealers or in a private dealer Facebook group. These businesses or individuals might buy the watches for cash or wire or provide a check, giving Mr. X a form of money that seems to come from a legitimate sale. Alternatively, Mr. X could also use the watches as collateral for loans, providing another method of turning the watches back into clean cash. The final stage is integration. This is where the illegal or illicit money, now clean, goes back into the legitimate economy. Mr. X might sell the watches and invest the proceeds into legitimate businesses, real estate, or stocks, or Mr. X might choose to keep the watches, especially if they're rare models or limited editions. Over time, the value of these watches can increase, serving as a valuable asset. This is a completely hypothetical and simplified picture of how luxury watches can be used in money laundering. As interesting as this process might seem, remember that money laundering is a serious crime with strict laws and regulations. My goal here is to foster understanding and not to encourage illegal activities. Another example of placement using luxury watches could look something like this. Buying multiple lower value watches. While it's true that some watches can be incredibly expensive, criminals might also choose to buy a larger number of lower value watches. This can help avoid suspicion, as a transaction involving a $10,000 watch is less likely to raise eyebrows than a transaction involving a $100,000 watch. Other examples of layering could include trading across borders. Criminals could buy watches in one country, smuggle them into another country, and resell them there. This not only complicates the trail, but it might also allow them to make a legitimate profit on the watches, further disguising the source of the funds, different countries, different pricing, and demand. Gray market dealers. Another option could be to use gray market luxury watch dealers to resell the watches. This provides a seemingly legitimate source of funds, especially if the watches can be sold at a profit. Buying watches from private sellers. A criminal might choose to buy watches from private sellers, perhaps even paying a premium to ensure the seller is willing to deal in cash. This can make the transaction even harder to trace. Some other examples of integration, and this is where the cleaned money is put back into the system, could be to purchase assets or invest in legitimate business ventures. Think investors, like an investment in a gray market watch dealer. Ironically, some criminals might choose to invest the laundered money in luxury watch companies or other luxury goods dealers. If they've already established a legitimate cover business, this could seem like a natural business decision. Another thing a money launderer could do is building a watch collection. The criminal might choose to amass a personal luxury watch collection. Over time, the value of this collection can increase, providing a significant return on the initial illicit investment. If the watches are rare or collectible, they can even become a kind of alternative currency in their own right, able to be traded for other goods or services among collectors. These examples are hypothetical and simplified. In reality, money laundering schemes are typically extremely complex and involve many stages or transactions. People found guilty of money laundering can face serious penalties, including substantial fines and prison sentences. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or insights. I hope you found the video enlightening. If you did, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel for more videos like this one. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.